everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are so excited today. We have a very special bonus interview for you today. We are talking with Heidi Weitzer and Desiree Staples, the star and the director-writer of My Divorce Party, new comedy coming out, female friendship comedy. Really excited to talk to you both about it. And welcome to Hallmarkies podcast.
Thank you for having us. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
So, since you are both new to the podcast, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get into your field of acting or writing, directing? What about you, Heidi?
Sure. So, Heidi Weitzer, the writer and director of My Divorce Party. And I got into writing at a really young age. I always felt like I had stories in me, and I just didn't have the tools to actually write those things until kind of later in life in my 20s. And then with directing, it kind of started out of necessity. I used to direct live theater in Chicago, and it was I had written plays and sketches and things like that, and then it was kind of like, well, who's gonna put this on? and then I fell in love with directing, and then I eventually transitioned to directing for film. So I love it. Now I can't stop.
Yeah. That's so cool. Desiree, what about you? How did you get started?
Yeah, we've actually got some similarities there, but I have been acting since I was really young. I started as a singer and started in theater and musical theater, and actually went to school in Chicago at Northwestern for theater. But as you learn, Chicago is an amazing comedy town. It's an amazing film town. And I soon as well kind of made the transition, since I like to produce and be on the creative side as well, that in film, you can do all the things. You can help set it up, and then you can also get to act in it, and then on the other side get to see it all happen. So so started in Chicago, and then I ended up moving back to LA in 2018, and I've been acting and producing and making stuff ever since.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, you both share my musical theater loving heart.
Oh yeah.
It's so much. That's so cool. We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, Heidi, so how did you end up putting this movie all together? How did it all happen?
So it kind of was loosely inspired by a friend's real divorce party that I went on in Sonoma. And it wasn't as chaotic as the movie, but it was just like a lot of drinking. But then from there, I say that the project really came together when it went from a team of one, just myself, to then a team of two with Desiree. She was looking for some comedy project. She was looking for something that she could potentially be an actor in, and she was looking for it in mostly a one location thing. And I was like, hey, I have this script. What do you think about that? And then as soon as we became a team of two is when it was like, oh, okay, I think this project is actually going to happen. So
yeah. I mean, how were you able to kind of get it off the ground? Like, get the investors, get all the pieces together? That's amazing.
I mean, it definitely is a mountain to climb, but I would say it was mostly Desiree. She was the main producer on it and main executive producer. She was the one who was very confident that we could get the funding, and so I'll let her take it from here.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
was like, how are we going to do that?
Do you know, so you knew each other before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had been a fan of Heidi's work for quite some time. We're in this group together called Deadline Junkies in LA, and we're writers are bringing in new material all the time. And always I was like, Heidi has got this amazing voice, and it's so funny. And Bridesmaids and Rough Night and these kinds of movies have always been an inspiration to me. And I feel like there are not enough of them, and not enough of women behaving badly and like my friends on screen, and how I feel as a woman in the real world versus what the media sometimes wants us to be.
Yeah.
So when Heidi put up these pages at our group, I was like, I want to do this immediately. So that was pretty much, we went from there. But I will, testament to the script, which is so much fun and like a dream for an actor. Every actor that we sent it to was like, we're in, so that just shows you if you've got something as original in the story. And once again, I think all of us gals were like, when do we get to do a story like this? And when do we get to play a part like this? And for me too, it just felt like it's a complex group of friends in this day and age that feels very real and very close to my experience. So so from there, it's just like, if you believe in something that much, then totally it was like teamwork making the dream work. We have endless, infinite amount of favors that were given to us, from locations to, oh my gosh, catering to, people just giving their time and energy. And then once we got Gina and Adrian and Sam on board, our other producers too, and pretty cool that our team again is spearheaded by women. We just were off to the races, and everyone wanted to be a part of it because it's fun. And COVID too is when we were mostly fundraising. Like, people need to laugh, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, so Heidi, for the people that are listening, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about what the movie's about?
Yeah, so My Divorce Party is a comedy ensemble. It is about our main character, Zan, is going through a divorce, and she gathers all of her friends in the desert in Joshua Tree for what they think is just going to be like a relaxing weekend, almost like a reverse bachelorette party. But then when she gets there, she divulges that she has drained her joint bank account with her soon-to-be ex-husband, and she has to declare her assets on Monday. And so she figures if she drains their bank account and spends all of their cash, then she can't lose half of her assets to him. And so her friends are like, oh, okay, so you're going through a psychotic break. What's going on with you? And then each of her friends has a very different opinion on what she should do with the money. And so we get to see kind of all of these fun scenarios of each of her friends kind of saying, well, if I had this money, I'd do this. And then they go and do that and things like that.
Yeah. Was that a challenge in casting? Because you have to have this chemistry as this group of friends and getting sort of the right group together.
Yes, it definitely was. And honestly, because all 5 of the women are in probably 90% of the scenes.
Yeah.
There are only a couple of scenes where it's just 2 of them go off, or 2 of them have a side convo. So chemistry was really important. And luckily, Desiree already knew Kimia, and I saw this wonderful short that they were in together. And I already knew Michelle Meredith. And so I knew that there were going to be some already kind of established rapport. But then when we got all 5 of them together to do the table read, I was like, this is going to work. This is going to work really well. Then they instantly had a good rapport with each other. And then we shot all on location in Joshua Tree, and they were all stuck in the hotel together. And so I think that also bonds people, because you're like, okay, well, we're not going home to our families after. It almost felt like a summer camp, which really kind of it made them instantly bond faster.
Absolutely. Something about putting us all in the desert together in a new
Yeah.
place where we're trying to still be in our COVID bubble. But yeah,
And there's like 3 restaurants.
yes. So we all go to the same places. It was so much fun. It was truly just like a dream. But yeah, what a treat to, again, like having comedians together, get to work on a script that's got this message and this female message and this spirit of womanhood. It was just,
Mhm.
we were just like off to the races. And it was just so fun because everyone's comedy is so different. And so, testament to our casting team and producing team, it was just all the different energies, as you see in the movie.
Yeah.
It's that kind of movie magic where we knew each character fit, each person fit the character so well, and then together it was like, oh, this is
Mhm.
good. Everyone's just got a little their own thing, that's just different spark to their character to them.
Yeah. So your character is the one going through the divorce. And so while your character's funny, there's also a lot of pain. And
Yeah.
so was that something that was a challenge for you to kind of tap into?
Absolutely. That was another big thing that drew me to the project. And I'm so honored that Heidi had me and was my fearless leader in that. Yeah, I've done a lot of comic roles, and Zan felt like a really great opportunity to not only be the anchor of the film, but get to experience too heartbreak, right? We've all gone through that. I had gone through a heartbreak pretty close to after or before we started shooting, so that helped. But yes,
Oh.
I'm from a family, my parents are divorced, so it was really
Mm.
like important to me to try to spread that message of it is a really tough chapter to go through. It's something that I think is an obstacle, right? It's something you don't anticipate, but then on the other side, it makes you a better person to have gone through it, right? Like if you needed to get divorced and you need this next chapter of your life, like that should be celebrated, and that should be something that leads you to your happiness.
Yeah.
While I've seen a lot, and in the 90s when people are getting divorced, when that all started, right? Like people would stay together because they didn't want that shame. And so it was important to me to really go deep
Yeah.
and explore that. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's no point in like looking back with regret. I mean, that's just not going to get you anywhere. So you just gotta plow forward.
Yep.
That's all you can do.
Embark on a delightful journey with the Romance of Rings series by award-winning author Esther Hatch. Discover a world where sweet historical romance meets laugh-out-loud comedy. The first book, Manor for Sale, Baron Included, is free on Kindle from April 25th to 29th. Grab it so you can enjoy Lord Farnsworth's bumbling attempts at wooing the wealthy new owner of his mother's estate. Don't miss the newest release in the series, There Goes the Groom, which is already being hailed as a new favorite Esther Hatch novel. Find out more on this and all of Esther's books at estherhatch.com. That's ESTHERHATCH.com, or use the affiliate link below.
Was it a challenge figuring out what you wanted the Edward statue, the eagle?
Edward. I told our wonderful production designer, Liz Weibel, I was like, I want something really big, like gaudy big that you can't pick up. And I want it to hopefully to be an animal. And so she was looking through all these prop houses and she was like, I've got something for you. I think originally in the script it was like a giant carved turtle. But I was like, I'll take the eagle.
Yeah.
And then we had a great time. It was just supposed to come in once, but then it was like, let's put Edward in the background. Let's move him around. And then it kind of became a running joke.
That's gonna be the best job, just like going through the prop houses and finding like that would be so fun, I feel like.
We could definitely do an Easter egg drinking game of every time we see Edward in the film. So but yeah, so much fun.
Was it fun filming that rave scene?
Oh yeah. That was a good time. But it's also so funny because you film those scenes without music. And so everyone was like dancing around. But then we were like, wait, we need to at least make sure we're all on the beat, And so someone luckily I think got out their phone and was like, let's play something because we know it'll be over music. But
But
It
it
was
worked
really
well
wonderful.
because we're at the breakfast buffet in the morning, and we were at the morning, and it was like everyone was in this kind of party mode, but at like 11 a.m. and that was so much fun getting the extras out, and the real divorce party girls that the film is based on were there for
Oh,
that.
really? That's fun.
Yeah, they played some extras in that scene, so that's a little Easter egg.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fun.
no, we had a blast, and little behind the scenes nugget too. That is the same place we filmed the outdoor eating at the table scene with the waiter and the panini and Wendy and the waiters rendezvous later. That was the same location, but inside was the strip club and outside was the
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of the themes I think in the movie is just how female friendships change and evolve as you get older. And was that something you were thinking of, obviously, when you wrote it, you were hoping to draw from?
Yeah, I think, you know, I there are some people, like my best friend Diana, that she has been my friend for every version of me.
Mm.
Childhood me and college me and young adult me, and then kind of midlife me.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
I think like some people you grow and change with forever, and it's kind of like, well, we've known each other now for 30 plus years, like you're stuck with me forever. But other people, I think it's just like you enjoy and appreciate their time, and then maybe it's more of like a season. um and so I did kind of want to touch on that, of like the different levels of friendship, and then the deepness of friendship. Isabella, Kimia's character, and Zan, Desiree's character, they've known each other since they were little, and I think, you know, those are the people that know you the best, and they're the ones that are going to call you on your BS, and I think are also going to be like your first phone call from jail type of a thing. Like those are
Yeah.
like your ride or dies forever, and so I really wanted to kind of put those in the movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that, Desiree? It was about how female friendship evolve.
Yeah, I mean, that too, I just thought was so brilliant in this story. And I really was drawn to what we hide from each other and why we hide things from each other. And that thought too, as I'm in my 30s now, of how I'm trying to protect people, or am I trying to protect myself? And I think we do in our friendships, and especially as women, when we're just trying to take care of each other all the time, sometimes that gets in your own way. So I just really, it again struck a chord, and that relationship with Isabella too. And that was just so great that I knew Kimia so well, and we had worked together before. That it is that kind of struggle of, I want to take care of you, but I also have to have my own agency and be my own person. And there's a line, one of my favorite lines in the film, which is like, why can't my friends just do what I want them to and don't make me feel uncomfortable? And that's a huge thing, where your friends should make you uncomfortable, because that means you're growing. And so much fun too, getting to play Zan, where there are these blinders up of just like, I'm the victim and no one knows what they're talking about, and I'm like so in my own world, and then getting to that point of, oh no, these people are really just trying to help me.
Yeah. Do you think that you all became better friends through the course of making the movie?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
After you go through a dust devil, that's one of our
Yeah.
other fun stories. We had like a little mini whirlwind tornado. Was that the word for it?
Yeah.
Whirlwind
Yeah.
tornado.
Oh, really?
A little
Our
windstorm
first
on day one.
windstorm that
Yeah.
went right through our set like an omen, but it ended up being the best omen, because after that tent went into a telephone pole, that was one of our craziest, hardest things. So it was like smooth sailing from here. If we all can just hold down the fort. But no, we had such a great time. And when you spend 12, 13 hours a day in the heat, in the cold, those fire scenes, it was like very cold out there.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing costume department, amazing team. Again, we're throwing these awesome, real wool jackets on us that were taking care of us. And once you go through all that, it's like, we're family now.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store. Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So when was this filmed?
This was filmed in October of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's just, you still had all the pandemic protocols and everything.
Yeah,
back
we
then.
were doing our nose things every day, and we'd wear masks. And it was, we had to do all of the COVID protocol and everything. It was wild.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was right around that time where we thought it was subsiding, and then nope, it's another peak. But we got really lucky once again being in the bubble and just hang out with ourselves. We didn't have a single case.
Oh, that's good. That's a miracle in
They're on
2021.
our side. Yeah, we've had a
I
lot.
think it helped too that there's a lot of outside scenes too, and so I think hopefully, it, besides when we were smushed into the strip club together.
Yeah. So there's some sort of surrealist sections so what was that like to sort of decide how you wanted those to look and those to be?
That was really fun. So that was like a real collaboration with my cinematographer, Hannah Getz. She was like, well, how do you want to shoot this? Or what were you thinking? Or, let's talk about, kind of what you wanted to do. And for the drug scene, we had this like wonderful kind of filter on one of the lenses that caused that effect in camera, which was really nice. And I think sound is obviously really important, when you're doing, and I didn't want it to feel like too cartoony, and it's supposed to kind of be a little scary, but also an awakening for her. And so we were trying to play into that without making it seem like, what was kind of a big inspiration was Midsummer, when she is on her trip and then it's like the breathing in the grass. So it was, kind of like subtle movements and things like that were a big inspiration.
What were those scenes like for you, Desiree?
Oh, so much fun. Again, an actor treat where it's like, oh, not only do I get to be on mushrooms, but then I get to like fight on mushrooms and and reclaim my independence and my power on mushrooms. So
yeah.
I did not take mushrooms, prepare for role, but I talked to a lot of people that have.
I mean, come on, you got a method act, right?
I know. Next time. But I remember with the feather scene, the second one where I come back to say I'm not giving you anything. I was like running around in circles to the point where I was like, do I feel crazy enough now? Okay, let's go. So a lot of physical preparation. And the first one where there was like that amazing moonshot and I'm there in the wilderness, that was like, I don't know. I think that was one of our first days or our first week. And it was just me and Heidi and, a bare bones crew. And it put me in the world of like, this feels so real because it was just barren wasteland. So I had a blast. I was like, let's do 10 more.
Yeah. It looked like a lot of fun. I was like, I bet if they did a behind the scenes documentary of this movie, it would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of jokes on set, a lot of singing. Like it was a great time on and off. I loved it. I would love to do it again.
Well, we have some rapid fire get to know you questions we like to end the interview off with. And so first question is, what is the best ice cream flavor? What about you, Heidi?
Okay, the best ice cream flavor is hands down cookie dough.
Very good.
I also really like cookie dough, but I'm just a chocolate fiend. That's always going to be my go-to.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
Green.
Oh, okay, good. That's very Hallmark approved. All right.
Good.
Okay. What music are you into?
Oh, I'm a big Swiftie.
Oh,
I'm very into her new album, The Torture Poet Society. I love it.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I mean, this week I feel like it's Swift, it's Swift's world. We're just in it. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
listening right before I got on this to
Oh, okay.
TT.
And Chapel Roan, she's having a moment. She's gonna be
Yes.
the new girl.
Agreed.
What is your go-to date night food?
Okay. I like something light.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to like get wings or something on
Yeah.
a date, and so I would say maybe just like a Caesar salad.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think that's why the steak or chicken is like the perfect.
Yeah.
You don't want anything that
Bites.
you're gonna get messy.
That's
And
true.
the other day on a Hallmark movie, they had the guy take a girl to get ribs. I'm like, that is the
No.
worst food I can imagine.
We had ribs in ours though. We had ribs at that buffet. Those
What about you, Desiree?
I don't know. I guess I do splurge on a date and I would like to do like little pasta, like some kind of cheesy pasta.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, dogs or cats?
Cats. Cats all day. I've got a cat.
And I've got a dog, so this is where we disagree.
Yeah. Beaches or mountains?
I would do a beach. I like a beach.
Yeah, I think I like both. I really like both, but if I had to choose beach.
Favorite holiday to celebrate?
4th of July. Love it.
Oh.
Love to just eat a hot dog. Watch the fireworks.
Thanksgiving, once again, give me peeps and give me food.
Okay, good. All right, last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I love it.
That's a fun one.
One of my favorite movies. Produced by one of my favorite producers, Linda Opes. It holds up. It's incredible.
Romantic movie. Okay, I mean, classic is The Notebook, but I watched recently Leap Year with Amy Adams.
Oh yeah.
And she's amazing. She's in her prime. It's hysterical. It's also, if you rewatch that, she's wearing heels the entire through the Irish mountains. The whole thing as an actor, I was like, I cannot, and you can see it's not like faked. She would like not give up on those tops. And I just really liked that and the Ireland of it all. But I need to watch the new Lindsay Lohan one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It leaned into the screwball comedy.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it was too silly for some people, but I enjoyed it. So
I love her. I mean, anything
yeah.
for her, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, very good. You did it. You answered all the questions. Thank you to both of you. And where can people find the movie?
Okay, the movie is coming out on iTunes, Amazon Prime, Google Play, let's see, where else? YouTube, anywhere that you can buy paid video on demand. It will be out on April 30th. So bookmark it.
Great.
Check it out. Buy it.
You can pre-order on Apple, and the Amazon Prime link is also live as we speak.
Oh,
and
great.
If this does come out before May 1st, they can also come to the LA premiere, which is at the Beverly Hills Film Festival. There are tickets online. It's at 8:15, so check us out.
Cool. Very good. Very good. Well, so great to meet both of you.
Yeah, great to meet you. Thank you, Rachel.
I'd like to thank Heidi and Desiree for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with them and meet them. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of all the things we talked about. And please put your comments in the comment section or on Twitter. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. And also make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really appreciate that so much. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group and merch store, so check that out. And thanks again to Heidi and Desiree, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.